Welcome back to the China Insight Podcast, everyone. I'm Jeddy, and I'm here with my co-host, as always, the wonderful Opera.
Hey, Jeddy. Hey, everyone. So glad to be back with all of you. We've got a really interesting topic for today, something that I think a lot of people are actually experiencing or, maybe even aspiring to right now.
Absolutely. Today, we're diving into something we've been calling happiness in solo living materialized. And, it sounds a bit abstract, but it's really about how contemporary individuals are translating that abstract idea of freedom and fulfillment into actual, tangible daily scenes in their lives.
Yeah, we've seen actually a lot of this showing up in social media discourse, which is kind of cool.
So picking up on that idea of how it materializes, one of the biggest, perhaps most obvious dimensions of this materialized happiness in solo living really comes down to spatial autonomy. It's about, this absolute control over your physical space.
Yeah, totally. Think about it. You get home after a long day, and the first thing you do is shed all your restrictive clothing, right? You can just, roam freely at midnight, maybe even dance barefoot or project movies onto your wall without anyone, judging you or having to share the screen. It's kind of liberating, isn't it?
It really is. And it's not just about what you can do, but what you choose to do, right? Like personalizing your decor. You can craft these mood corners with ambient lights or memory walls of photos, even shifting your dining spots just for the novelty of it. It's all yours.
Yeah, exactly. And it extends beyond just the physical objects too, doesn't it? It's also about self-designed temporal rhythms. You wake up naturally whenever your body tells you, No alarm clocks necessarily. Or if you feel like practicing piano at 2 a.m, you just do it. You get that calm from a 10-minute commute. That's all your own. Or even this idea of a healing weekend lethargy being a planned waste of space. That's actually a plan. It's not just being lazy, it's intentional.
That planned waste of space really resonated with me, actually. It's you're not beholden to anyone else's schedule or expectations for your time. If you want to just, sprawl out and do nothing, that's a valid choice because it's your space and your time.
Absolutely. And, this freedom, it really ties into the next big dimension of solo living happiness, financial independence and what they call low-cost joy. It's you get these small inputs, but really large returns.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it's not just about having more money, but actually experiencing abundance through minimal consumption, right? That's what the research points to.
Yeah, exactly. It's so counterintuitive, but it totally makes sense. The example of the retired aunt who only spends 1,700 yuan a month, and she finds wealth in gardening and tea rituals and calligraphy. Her happiness comes from discounted supermarket fruit and, being 3 subway stops from home. It's really about finding joy in the simple things.
That's amazing. So it's about redefining what wealth actually means. It's not about accumulating a lot. It's about a richness of experience that's very accessible.
Yeah. And solo hot pot with Wahaha drinks or a 3 beer and crayfish takeout, or even a health congee from Bear Appliances. These are all, self-indulgent moments that don't need to be costly. It's you're treating yourself, but it's not breaking the bank.
Right. It's accessible luxury in a way. And then there's this really interesting point about economic freedom sans familial duties, this idea of generational dividends. That's a powerful phrase.
Oh, it really is. It talks about how, child-free lifestyles, stable jobs, and just general self-sufficiency are actually hailed as these generational dividends. It's the payoff for choosing a certain path.
Yeah, and the contrast is stark. It mentions unmarried women's liberation at 10,000 yuan a month versus, anxiety even at 40,000 yuan a month. It really highlights how much familial obligations can impact financial well-being and, peace of mind.
It totally does. It's if you're not carrying the financial burden of, say, raising a family or supporting extended relatives in the same way, you have this incredible freedom to manage your own resources. And that can lead to a much greater sense of abundance, even if your absolute income isn't as high. It's about what you keep and what you don't have to spend on others, I suppose.
That's a really interesting perspective, Opera, and it actually leads us perfectly into the next dimension of happiness in solo living, which is the emotional sanctuary aspect. This idea of the solo home being a harbor for the authentic self.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, after talking about financial freedom, it only makes sense that your home becomes this really safe space, right? Like a place for unfiltered expression, where you can just be completely yourself with unmasked vulnerability.
Yeah, it's like the research mentions things like, being able to cry aloud or babble nonsense or just grin at yourself in the mirror without feeling any judgment. It's truly a space where you can just be.
It's so liberating, isn't it? To not have to put on any kind of front or filter yourself for anyone else. Just complete emotional freedom within your own four walls.
Exactly. And it's not just about expression, it's also about it acting as a buffer against external pressures, like that emotional stability that solo dwelling can provide.
I mean, the example of the 41-year-old woman taking a 3-month work hiatus, deleting friends' feeds, stepping back from romance, and calling it sober living.
Yeah, that really struck me. It just shows how a solo space can allow you to kind of reset and find your emotional footing again. Like moonlit laundry nights with shuffled playlists, transforming chores into calming ceremonies. It's just simple things, but they become these really mindful moments that contribute to inner peace.
Yeah, it sounds like it allows for a much deeper level of introspection and self-care without the constant demands or influences of other people. It's fascinating how a physical space can foster such profound emotional well-being.
Absolutely. And that leads us to another really cool aspect of solo living, which is how it elevates the mundane or, ritualized living. It's like routines are artfully reinvented.
Oh, I love that phrase, elevating the mundane, because it's true, isn't it? When you're living alone, you're not just going through the motions. Things like doing laundry or making coffee, they can actually become these really mindful practices.
Yeah, it's not just a chore anymore. The document mentions morning coffee turning into an activation loop, or breakfast with eggs and scented candles. Like, it's not just food, it's an experience. Or even plant watering as growth meditation.
Right? It's like you're not just watering your plants, you're consciously connecting with something, taking a moment for yourself. And the cot says mood regulators. I mean, who doesn't love a good pet therapy session in their own space?
Totally. And it's all about making those chores, as you said, mindful practices. They're not just things you have to get through, they're a part of your intentional living. And then beyond routines, your solo space just becomes the stage for unbridled creativity.
Yes, this is where it gets really exciting. Like the freedom to just craft or freestyle dance or even window sketching, gaming marathons. It's all about spontaneous creation, isn't it? No one's there to judge your dance moves or your artistic endeavors.
Exactly. It's like you don't have to explain yourself. You want to, I don't know, paint at 2 a.m.? Go for it. You want to blast music and just dance around your living room? Absolutely. Your space is your canvas, your stage, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it nurtures that spontaneous creation, which I think often gets stifled in shared living situations just because you're always thinking about someone else's comfort or schedule. But when you're solo, it's just pure, unadulterated creative freedom.
That's so true. It's almost like these solo spaces really empower you to just be yourself fully. And it's interesting because this concept of happiness in solo living, it actually resonates across different generations.
Oh, that's a great point. It's not just a young person's thing, right? Because you see like how youth find weekend freedom or they can customize their rental apartments without, having to compromise. And there's that security from winter prepping savings.
Yeah, like not having to worry about pooling resources or budgeting with someone else or even just deciding what to buy for the apartment. It's all their decision, which is pretty liberating.
Definitely. And then it shifts as you get older, right? Like for midlifers, the document mentions a 51-year-old finding relief in always clean toilet seats, which, it sounds simple, but it's actually profound when you think about it.
It really is. Like it's those little everyday annoyances that just disappear. Or divorced women reclaiming their spatial sovereignty. That's a huge one, right? After a shared life, having your own space again on your terms.
Absolutely. It's a complete reclaiming of, personal boundaries and comfort. And then you move into the senior generation, and it's almost like a different kind of wisdom kicks in.
Yeah, like the retired teacher's wisdom, longevity beats lavishness. That really struck me because it shows that for them, happiness transcends wealth or material possessions. It's about the peace and the autonomy.
Right. It's not about accumulating more stuff, but about, I guess, enjoying the simple, quiet moments that solo living can provide. It's a very self-assured kind of happiness.
It really is. And it just goes to show that no matter where you are in life, solo living can offer different but equally valuable forms of happiness and fulfillment.
You know what's really fascinating about all this, Opera, is how much the perception of solo living has shifted.
Oh, absolutely. It used to be, sort of a stigma, didn't it? Like, oh, why aren't you married? Or why are you still living alone? But now it's really becoming an ideal, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, the document mentions a collective embrace. Like your coworkers might actually envy your "you feed only you" life, which is such a funny way to put it. And social media, you see it everywhere, right? It's hailing solo living as apex happiness.
Right? It's like, look at me, I'm thriving, I'm independent, I'm making my own choices. And it's celebrated, which is a huge shift. I remember a time when it just wasn't, the done thing.
Totally. And it's also about, I think, defying those traditional expectations. Like people are just rejecting those marry now sermons. It's not about that anymore for a lot of people.
No, it's not. And they're advocating for what they call soloism as anti-anxiety wisdom, which I think is a really powerful concept, isn't it? Like embracing your solo journey as a way to find peace and reduce stress rather than it being, a source of worry.
Yeah, it's like I'm not doing this because I can't find someone. I'm doing this because it's genuinely making me happier and reducing my anxiety. It's a conscious choice for well-being.
Exactly. It's about carving out a life that suits you rather than conforming to what society traditionally expects. And seeing it transform from a stigma to something aspirational, it's pretty incredible.
Opera, we've talked so much about all the amazing upsides of solo living and how it's really shifted from a stigma to this ideal. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right? There are always, a few caveats.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeddy. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution for everyone. And the document actually touches on some really important nuanced challenges, like the whole idea of loneliness versus social need.
Right, because I mean, even if you love your solo space, sometimes you just need to be around people, you know? Like it mentions some people needing to, quote, absorb crowds and malls, or those midnight fears that demand what they call social solo equilibrium. It's like finding that right balance.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about being a hermit forever. It's about finding what works for you. And for some, that means actively seeking out social interaction to balance the solo time. It's a very real thing, that need for connection.
And then there's also the risk of what they call empathy erosion, which, sounds a bit dramatic, but it makes sense. If you're isolated for too long, it can dull your emotional attunement, right?
Yeah, I think that's a really perceptive point. Long-term isolation without any real, deep interaction could potentially make you a little less sensitive to others' emotions. So moderation really is key here. It's not about cutting yourself off completely. It's about choosing when and how you engage with the world and balancing that with your solo time.
Okay, so, despite those challenges we just talked about, it really does seem like the core message of this whole phenomenon, this materialized happiness in solo living, it really centers on the self, doesn't it? On personal choice.
Yeah, absolutely, Jetty. It's very much about that feeling of I choose, I own, I savor. It's like every single decision, from what you're having for dinner to, bigger life choices like whether to marry or have kids. It's all about your agency.
Exactly. And it's not about seeking external validation or fitting into some societal mold, is it? It's just this pure, unadulterated joy that really resonates within your own sacred space. It's like it costs little. It doesn't need approval. It just is.
Yeah, and that's such a profound shift, I think. It's moving away from the idea that happiness is something you have to pursue or acquire from outside. It's truly internalized. And I just love that quote from one of the solo dwellers mentioned in the document. I no longer chase happiness. I am happiness itself.
Wow, that really sums it up, doesn't it? I am happiness itself. It's not a destination, it's a state of being cultivated right there in your own solo world. What a powerful concept.
It really is. And, it's been such an insightful discussion today on China Insight Podcast, exploring all these dimensions of happiness in solo living materialized.
Absolutely, Opera. It's given us so much to think about. We hope all our listeners have found it as thought-provoking as we have. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for joining us on this journey. We always appreciate you being here. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into, whatever China Insight brings our way. Until then, take care.
And we'll see you then.